Okay, so we are live with the DCTV show, episode 21. We are joined by Eric. Welcome, Eric.
Hello.
Nice to have you back on. And
Thank you.
we're supposedly gonna have PAGEY joining in, and we'll see if he comes at some point. But right now he's not here, and when he does come, we're gonna pop him in. We got a bunch of topics to go through today, and hopefully you guys are excited to talk about them.
Much this week. Such a good week.
So much. Like, I was writing my notes before this, and I'm telling you, like, obviously we covered, like, some of it in the after party, but I was like...
There was still more, though. That's the thing. There's just more we could talk about.
Like, yeah, so that's where we need you guys to give your thoughts and opinions on the premiere, episode 2 of Superman Lois. Anything that you guys want to talk about, you can send them in via Super Chat if you want the answers straight away, because we do have to get through a bunch of topics that I have noted down. So we're going to get Eric's opinions, and we're going to get your opinions on all of that. So you can send in any questions via Super Chat if you want them to get answered. Also, obviously, the chat is the chat, and the chat works. Okay. So, yeah, let's first off, welcome to the live stream. We got like 50 people in here right now. Janelli, a member of the channel. Arthur, Flashverse, the Chosen Flash. I'm moving my screen. Yeah, so welcome to the live stream. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the Flash Season 7 premiere, because I think that is the thing that everyone kind of wants to talk about at first, because a lot of stuff went down. And I think let's start off with your thoughts on this episode. So nothing too specific, just what did you think?
So we're doing Flash first then. All right.
Yeah,
let's do
Flash
it.
first.
Two things. One, I knew this was going to be a continuation from last season. So the first 3 episodes are like season 6.5 for me. I know it's season 7, but logically that's what it was. So I wasn't expecting it to be a traditional premiere episode of The Flash, because we're still in the middle of a story really from last season. So knowing that and going into it, my expectations were not at the highest high. I kind of knew what we were getting into, but I think I was blown away a little bit. I think it was a lot better than I expected it to be, because I didn't have those high expectations. The only thing that I missed a little bit is obviously the Ralph Dibny stuff. I wanted them to finish that story as well with Sue. But outside of that, I think it did pretty much everything I wanted and more for a premiere. And the thing is, I think actually being in half of a story like that, like being stuck in that spot, probably helped them with this premiere, because it really kept the stakes high coming into this first episode. So
yeah, no, I agree. And I think they did a good job at like remaking what was supposed to be the third to last episode of last season. Like, you guys know, if you've watched The Flash over the years, you kind of, as you head towards the finale, you're just expecting, I think the third to last episode normally is a filler episode. So when I saw it was about Harrison Wells, like Nash, I thought it was just going to be like a filler episode, It
almost always is. You're right.
It almost always is. And they definitely, reworked it. However, I think they did it in a way that made it feel like a premiere to me. And I thought they did a very good job. And you're right, they did set up some really, really great stuff. Yeah, so what are your guys' thoughts? Let us know in the comments. And we want to get all your thoughts and opinions on every single thing about this episode. But just quickly, let's go over one specific thing. Oh, wait, we got a super chat from Gary, and we'll get to our next topic in a minute to do with the Flash. So Gary's here, and Gary sends in a $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Gary. And he says, are you guys mad at me? Eric, are you mad at him? No. Eric is not mad at you today. I'm not mad at you because you turned up on time, Gary. Well done. But sure support, Gary, and it's greatly appreciated. So welcome to the stream. Okay, so let's go back onto what we were talking about. So the Flash Season 7 premiere. So yeah, super exciting. It was a great premiere. And then you had some major moments that really shocked me. Like, I had no idea it was going to be this high in stakes. Like, I think we talked about it yesterday, but like when Nash was talking about, sacrificing himself and things like that, I did not expect them to like properly go through with it when they first mentioned it. Did you?
No, because we've seen fake outs like this before where characters are talking about sacrificing themselves. I mean, we've had it happen on all the shows. It isn't just a Flash thing or whatever. But you think they want to build this tension and then pull you back at the end. Like, oh, it's this, what's going to happen? I don't know. It's not going to happen, whatever. But no, they went through with it. And the title of the episode gave it away. And it's weird because no one expected that, I don't think, from the title. I thought it was just a play on words. I didn't realize it was going to be literally what happens in the episode. So,
yeah, I had no idea. Like, the title totally gave everything away. And I mean, the stakes were high and they just went through with it. And a lot of the time they don't go through with it unless it's something that they're so certain on, like, sort of restarting. Like,
I mean, that's a main character. That's a character that's been around since the beginning of the series. So for that to be done in a premiere episode, which was not even supposed to be a premiere episode, which means they were planning on doing it at the end of last season, that's pretty shocking, honestly.
Yeah. No, it is really shocking. And I don't know. I was just really shocked. I was watching it and I was like, what the hell?
It's
like,
a bold move.
It's a very bold move. And then when they were, going around talking to the different Harrison Welleses and stuff, and like, they were going, like, you saw Harry, you saw all these different versions. And then as soon as you saw Harry, you're like, oh my God, he's dead. He is dead. So,
and even for a second, like when he was like deteriorating and becoming energy, I thought something's going to happen and he's just going to like reform and come back or whatever. But that's not what happened. It was quite a scene for sure.
Yeah, it was very much a scene. And so obviously now the question is, after this, what do you guys think? Do you think there is going to be another Wells? Let us know in the chat. What are your thoughts and theories about this? And Eric, what are your thoughts? Do you think there's going to be another Wells this season?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we'll get another Wells. I don't know if it's going to be established this season. I think this season we may end up getting, like, Barry may end up talking to Wells through the Speed Force. I think we talked about that a little bit the other night. I think that's what we're going to see. I don't know if we're going to get a full-on, like, another multiversal Wells that's like full-time on the show. Could we see one after we reintroduce the multiverse and we have a chance to meet another Wells? Absolutely. I don't see a full-time Wells this season, and I don't know what that means for Tom because he's still billed as a regular, a series regular. So
yeah,
I'm guessing he's going to be basically the Speed Force for a while is what I'm going to think.
Yeah. So no, and it's very possible that he could be,
or he comes back as Ralph. As PAGEY said.
Yeah. That was that's a pretty good theory. I just feel like he's gonna be around just because, like you said, Tom is a regular. So I guess they're just gonna have to come up with ways to bring him back. And like I think that Ralph idea is actually a pretty good idea. And then so everyone in the chat is saying yes, maybe, probably later this season we'll get another Wells from the multiverse, but it won't be the same Wells that knows Barry. But I guess the whole thing on that is...
I was going to say, what if there's a huge threat and Wells the Bard, like the Thawne Wells, has to come back and join Team Flash for a while? Well, I mean, that would be...
No, that would be interesting.
If they have a mutual threat, it could happen. So
yeah, it definitely could. And, they teased at the end of last season that they were going to do something with Thawne, maybe bring him back. So guess we'll see. Maybe that is the Wells that he's going to...
What if Zoom is the mutual threat and Reverse Flash and Flash have to team up to defeat Zoom?
That would be amazing. But yeah, so in regards to kind of in relation to Wells, what happened in the episode was he basically, I don't know the full explanation as to why he had told it was something about multiversal particles. Basically he had sacrificed himself, and it basically gave Barry his powers back, and he was able to be the Flash again. However, it was noted by Eric Wallace in an interview, and I read this after like our reviews came out, that the artificial Speed Force is a temporary thing. Right. So what do you think is going to happen with that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad it's temporary, because I said before that I thought, before we even heard this interview, before I even knew about this interview, when we were talking about it, I thought that leaves a huge vulnerability for the Flash, because if the temporary Speed Force requires this device to be running, that's kind of a problem for him. And it also bodes as a problem for other speedsters. Because here's the thing, we know that the multiverse supposedly ended, right? And that a lot of characters got basically put on, the Prime Earth and whatnot. But it's not really ended. There's other Earths out there, and they all should share the same Speed Force, technically. So does that mean now they don't have access to the Speed Force because of what Barry did? Because the Speed Force goes beyond the boundaries of a Earth, of a universe. So with that device, it gives Barry speed, but it doesn't give the other speedsters speed. So I think it needs to switch into something more metaphysical. I think just being a scientific thing, unless they could somehow bridge it out to everyone, I don't think it's a good idea. So I'm glad they're going to do away with it, and that we'll get something more familiar later on, hopefully, with the Speed Force.
Yeah. And I guess that was like kind of my big thing. I was like, okay, so it seems like they're going full with the artificial Speed Force. And like we saw in the trailer that Barry had the blue streaks of lightning as well. And, they played that out in the episode, but like when he started running, it was just normal. So I guess that was just like a kickstart for him or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just wondering the same thing, like, how does Wally or how does Jay,
I'm still wondering if they could use the Mirrorverse as a new Speed Force dimension, because it is another universe outside of our own. It's another space. No one lives there. It's not occupied by anyone that we know of. Like everything in there is just a copy of what we have here, except for people, which the people that are copied there were forced in there, or they fell in there by accident. They're not actual residents of the Mirrorverse, because there wouldn't be residents there. It wouldn't make sense for that. So I'm wondering if they could use that Mirrorverse and convert the energy inside of it into a new Speed Force.
Yeah,
because that
could be possible.
Because that should exist outside of our universe as well, meaning it should connect to other Earths. So yeah, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. Like I can imagine them going through mirrors into another Earth, or or like you said, adapting it basically, and trying to do something different.
What happens if you take those multiversal particles out of that machine and put them into the mirror dimension? That would convert it into
create a new Speed Force. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
that's a good theory. You should do a video on it.
Yeah, maybe we might.
That is very good.
See.
Okay, so also in the episode, one thing, I know Paige kind of touched on it, but I kind of have forgotten, and I want to get your thoughts and opinions, guys, in the chat, or you can send in anything related via Super Chat if you do want to. So Eva's ending. Now, it was revealed that supposedly the real Eva, hit the mirror and died, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this version that we're seeing is just like a duplicate. So she's gonna start, questioning her mission and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was a bit confused, like which version is what, and like why does this version of Eva think she's real? I guess she just didn't know because she woke up on the other side. But what are your?
What makes you wonder, okay, so Eva's situation is different, I think, from everyone else's, because when she pulls Iris and Camilla and all these other people into the mirror world, they don't know what's going on, and the clones of them were created by Eva. So Eva's different from them because she was the first of whatever this is, and we know that because she supposedly created the original Mirror Master as well, which, by the way, we don't know how that happened. We don't know if he's a copy or if he's a complete made up character. I mean, supposedly he's real, but we don't totally get it. We don't know, because if she captured him originally and then just created a copy, then that would explain it, but they didn't go that far into detail, and I don't know if we're ever going to get that much detail on it or not, so we just have to assume that's what happened. So as far as the clones go, she's the only one that her reflection in the Mirrorverse is the reflection, because she assumed that the people inside the Mirrorverse that she created reflections for that went out, they're real people. So she I guess she assumed she was the real Eva, and that the only way she could get out was by breaking out of the Mirrorverse and coming into the real world. But the reality is, and the reason why it's affected her this way, is because she was never Eva in the first place. So her being able to get out and survive outside, inside the real world or whatever. I think it has a lot less to do with her plan to get out and more about just breaking through the barrier, because we've seen that the mirror beings can live in the real world. They're just not human. They're copies or whatever. So if she is a copy, there's no reason why she can't live in the real world. The thing is, without her knowing that she was a copy and no one else there to talk to, she probably just assumed she was the real one. I mean, I don't know if I would think that or not, but like we said, I don't know if she could even see the body on the floor because of where it was. It was like in front of the desk on the floor, and I don't think she could see the body. So from her perspective, she was Eva.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She definitely couldn't see the body. And
yeah.
100%. I don't know. Yeah, we're going to have to see. I mean, there is so many theories about, like, you know, what could happen. And I think the main idea is, like, it's definitely like a copy, and she's going to be doubting herself. I think that's the whole idea here, is that she's going to be like, what was my mission to actually be if it wasn't like Carver's fault or something like that? So,
well, I mean, think about everything she's done. Like, her whole plan revolved around the fact that she was really Eva and she'd been wronged by her husband. That was pretty much it. Even her attack on the black hole stuff, that was all because of her revenge on Joseph Carver. But now none of that really matters, I guess. So, I mean, it's going to change her perspective on everything, I think.
Yeah, it is going to change her perspective on everything. And, you know, I mean, the Carver stuff, like, it was okay, but it did set up what was happening. And it's also interesting to note, because Eric actually noted this in one of his interviews. Eva really doesn't care about the Flash. Like, the Flash and Team Flash are just in her way. And her whole mission has been to do with Carver. And now she's had this kind of revelation. Her plans are like, you know, skew with, like, she's going to be all up in the air. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
So my question is, and I thought about this as well, we're talking about Eva's plans and stuff. You're right. Team Flash is really more of a nuisance for her than an actual threat. Like, she doesn't think of them as like her enemies. She's really, her entire goal was to take out Black Hole and get back at her husband or whatever. Yeah. But she still has Iris trapped in the mirror dimension. And I think she has that there as a safeguard for Team Flash. Like, she feels like, if I keep Iris trapped in here, then this is my one thing where they'll never go too far because they want to get her out. So she like perpetuating Team Flash coming after her because of what's going on with Iris? Like, if she were to let Iris out, would they just stop being so adamant about going after her? Or do you think they would still be as high energy about getting Eva if they had Iris? Like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like she's kind of putting herself in that position. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she's definitely putting herself in that position. Okay, so let's go ahead and answer a few questions in the chat, because there's been a bunch that have been sent in. So In the Game says, this is on a very different note. When do you think we will get the Legends trailer and Stargirl and Supergirl premiere dates? So when do you think we're going to get those summer premiere dates?
It's going to be a while, I think. I mean, we're just at the beginning of the season for the shows, and I have a feeling it's going to be, I would say, at least we'll probably see posters before we see trailers. I think we'll probably get some artwork and some promo stuff. I don't know if it's going to be recycled. Like, remember how they recycled some of the artwork from last year to make the new, like, I don't know if these new posters are going to be recycled. Maybe they're not going to be, because they have so much more time before they come out compared to like these shows. But I expect we'll see posters first, and then we will see trailers, and the trailers will probably come out, because they're not going to release a trailer without a premiere date. That's the thing. They want to put the premiere date in the trailer, or at least have an idea of what month it's going to come out. So I think we'll get all of that information before we ever see a trailer. So I'm thinking like at least a month, maybe 2 months before we see anything. Yeah.
I'm not expecting a trailer like anytime soon. Although I kind of had some hope with them dropping that Stargirl thing, but I don't know. I don't know why they did that. I guess it's just like a hype thing, you know.
I tell you what, Stargirl is setting up to be a really good season. I think we're gonna have a good year of content for like comic book television. So I'm really excited. Supergirl's final season. They're gonna go out with a bang. Yeah. I think Stargirl is gonna be amazing. And Legends, people love Legends. I'm sort of, whatever with Legends, but they're doing Aliens. It's gonna be something different. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that's kind of our segment to do with the Flash. We're going to go back to the Flash in a minute. But for now, remember, guys, you can send in questions via Super Chat. You can do that by clicking the $, just underneath the chat, and you can send in any questions you have if you want them to be answered by us. And also, we're going to try and go through some of the questions in the chat, but is a little bit harder too because there are so many of you guys doing that, so I can't get through all of them.
And Super Chats help support the channel, which is great.
And Super Chats help support the channel. So, okay, let's move on to the next thing. And so this is Superman and Lois episode 2. I want to talk about this episode. So I thought personally Superman Lois episode 2 was I think it was even better than the premiere. Now I think of it, I've been thinking over, and I think they just like capitalized on everything they set up, and like I just thought it was a really good continuation.
I've heard that from a lot of people as well. They really think it got even stronger in the second episode. Yeah, what a good episode. I'm so excited for the show. Like I love it when we're excited for something and it ends up being exactly what you wanted. And I think Superman and Lois is we had been saying for so long, people were doubting the show. Oh, I don't want a show about Superman and his kids, and this is going to be really boring about his family or whatever. And I knew based on like the stuff that I was seeing, the promo material, that we were going to get something good. I just had this feeling we were going to get something good. So for me, I'm just excited that it's come out and it's been well received. And even though there is a little bit of banter back and forth, I think a lot of people who like other iterations of Superman feel kind of hurt that Warner Brothers put so much like love and care into the show, but the movie side and other versions of it are not getting that same attention. I get it. I feel that their pain because I understand where they're coming from, but this show is really good. And I think to compare the show to a movie and you're saying, oh, it's almost as good as a movie, but not good enough. A TV show that's almost as good as movie quality, like that's a high bar.
Yeah.
So comes out, it's great. I think everybody should be excited for this. If this is the direction of DC television, like this is the level of quality they're going to give us with these shows that are coming out on the CW and HBO Max, I mean, we should be excited. Everybody should be excited. We're going to get some really good stuff. Yeah.
And I don't get those people. Like I saw some stuff online, like specifically this one guy who shall not be named because he is quite famous. But he has an adamant thing against the CW and Superman for making, we mentioned this yesterday about them nerfing Superman's powers, right? For dulling his powers down, under Supergirl or anything like that. But like we said yesterday, that is because he's on Supergirl. He's not on his own show. But now he's Superman. He can beat up people. He can do whatever he wants. He can be fully powerful.
You got an even better comparison than that to just prove that point. When the Flash debuted on Supergirl back when they did that first crossover, he's much more powerful than he was portrayed on that show. But he was not the most powerful because it was Supergirl's show. So they downed his power a little bit. Anytime you're a guest character on another show, unless you're there specifically to do something that's going to show your power levels, you're not going to be more powerful than the lead character. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. That's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, it's 100% going to be like that. And yeah, I don't know what people are thinking when they say that. I just think it's irrelevant, really. Like, it's a crossover. Enjoy the crossover. And, if they get their own show, great. And it so happens Superman...
Also, keep in mind, they had no idea Superman was going to be a show during that
Exactly.
Period.
So they were just introducing him as, like, part of Supergirl's legacy. And that was it, really.
Yeah, he was supposed to be there for 2 episodes, and that's it. That was all it was going to be. And then it turned into so much more. So...
yeah, exactly. Okay, so I want to get your thoughts on, and you guys in the chat, if you have any thoughts and opinions, send them in. So what do you guys, and what do you specifically think about what they're going to be doing with the kids? Because in this episode, they set up this whole dynamic between the kids that basically Jonathan is going to aid Jordan, and it seems like Jordan's going to be, nearly or as powerful as his dad at some point. So do you think that's going to happen soon? And what do you think they're setting up?
Soon, I don't know. This show the pacing is beautiful, right? I mean, I feel like the pacing on the show is really, really good. It's really strong. So any of my concerns about how they drag out storylines, I don't know if they're going to do that. I think we're going to move at a good rate. I think the show has got a good, their strut is good right now. They're actually handling stuff very well in terms of like the way they're laying it out. So I think if they're going to tell a story about him getting powers, I don't think we're going to have to wait a whole season. I think it's probably going to happen. Like their powers are going to develop. We're going to see more probably within, like, I would say halfway through the season at the very latest before we get there. And I think that's a good pacing, because then once you get them to that level where we're dealing with the powers issue, you can spend the back half of the season working with that and dealing with that as a family, which I think is what the show wants to do. I think the show does want to be a family show, and it's so weird. Every character has their own thing going on, but they also work together as a family unit, which is something we see a lot in Black Lightning, but we hadn't seen it in any of the other like Arrowverse shows. So I think that this is a really good, like, they're taking elements that work from another show and they're applying it to these characters that are not classically in this environment. So I like that. Yeah. I think it's good. The pacing is really good. So I hope the boys, I really do hope that whatever the storyline is between them and their powers, that it doesn't drag on for the whole season. I don't think it will. My hopes are they're going to do what we want them to do, which is they're going to move at a good pace, and we'll find out very soon about how their powers are going to work and things like that. So
yeah, I definitely think that. Welcome to the stream, Jamie. And yeah, we're going to get through some of these questions soon. I see there's like so many questions going off. And, it's just really hard to get to all of them.
DCTV is back. We haven't had this in like over a year, so this is pretty cool.
Exactly. So many, everyone's got an opinion. All right, Turbo Studio says, judging by the show's pacing, I don't expect Jordan or Jonathan's powers to really show until around the end of the season. So were you saying end of the season, or are you saying before?
I was saying like mid-season, and then the back half will focus on them learning their powers. Like doing them at the end of the season. I mean, we've already seen heat vision and like at least durability and stuff. I don't see any reason why they would drag that out, unless the only way that would happen is if my theory about their powers isn't real, and that it ends up being one of them just has powers and the other doesn't. And then I could see them maybe dragging it on. But if they're going to give both of the boys some powers, I don't see why they would wait till the end of the season. We might not see them fully like flying around and doing stuff until the end of the season, but I think we'll definitely know by the middle of the season if both of them have powers. And they're showing ways of using them. Like I feel like 7 or 8 episodes in, we should see something pretty big from the kids. So
yeah.
But I could be wrong. But they've done really well so far. I don't think they'd drag that out to the end. That would be very, very CW of them if they did that. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with you. I don't have much else to add, but I have one other thought to do with Superman Lois. So this season we have the 2 big bads, right?
Right.
You got Lex for Superman, and you have Morgan Edge for Lois. Do you think they're gonna do this every single season that it runs? Do you think they're gonna have these 2 separate villains, or at one point do you think like, I don't know, miraculously, do you think like Lois is gonna get like powers she does in the comics? I'm not just making that up. And then they will like combine villains, or I don't know. Do you think they can sustain having 2 separate villains the whole time?
I don't know if we'll have 2 separate big bads. I suspect for the first season they're doing this to establish that the show is about Superman and Lois, because that's the title of the show. So they want people to understand that's what it's about. Going into next season, we may see something where like Superman has 1 big bad for the whole season, but Lois is dealing with like 4 or 5 episode graphic novels of villains, like smaller villains that she's tackling, or stuff she's tackling with the city. Because you have to remember, if she's a reporter, she may end up dealing with villains that aren't just people. They could be corporations. It could be like another reporter that's doing some kind of shady dealings or something. Like they could go any direction with her. And I think what they've shown us with Lois in the season so far is that a reporter storyline in a superhero show can work, because you've got her opposite of the biggest superhero in the world, like in terms of like power and stuff. And it works. So I think we're showing that it can work. So I think they could really try different directions here. I mean, being an investigative reporter, she could end up doing a job for someone. Someone could come to her and say, hey, I want you to do this job. And she starts investigating, and then they establish a villain that way. I mean, there's just so many options for where she could go with the villain. So I suspect that Superman and her will continue to have separate villains, but hers always won't be so black and white. I don't think hers is always just going to be like a bad person. Like, I think it could be a corporation. It could be another news outlet. It could be tons of things. So,
yeah. And so in regards to Lex, do you think he's going to be the villain for the whole season? Because I don't know. Yes, he is a villain, but at the same time, I feel like we mentioned this yesterday. He's like an interpretation of like Alexander Luthor, because he thinks he's good, and he's basically trying to stop Superman from becoming what he became on his Earth. So you reckon at one point he's going to become like a ally, or do you think someone else is going to take over as the big bad?
So here's the thing. The more I thought about it, the more I thought that even though Lex is the villain of the season, he's not doing it because he's a villain. Like, he doesn't want world power. He doesn't want, like, the typical Lex wants power. He wants money. Lex, the original Lex, the one that we know, typically does things because he's selfish. That's the type of character he is. He doesn't care about anybody. He doesn't even care about his sister. He's a very selfish character. Whereas this version of Lex is doing it because of what happened to his world. So I really, truly believe that he's a gateway to a real threat. I think that this Lex will start out as the quote unquote bad guy, but I think at a certain point, a much bigger bad guy will be revealed. And we may see this Lex team up with Superman, but it's not going to happen overnight. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. And he might even end up being a character we see after the season. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see him going away anytime soon because he doesn't have anywhere to go. This is his planet now. He's here. So, but it's hard for me to look at him as a typical bad guy because he's not really, right? I mean, his motivations are not evil. If you flip the coin, he's a good guy in a lot of ways because he is going against someone that he perceives as evil. It's just misguided. It's a misguided anger. And if for some reason the Superman that we know now does do something villainous, then he's justified in what he's doing. So it's a really thin line that we're walking with this version of Luthor. So I'm really excited to see where it goes. But I think he's a gateway villain. I don't think he's going to be the big bad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have any theories who might be the biggest big bad, of the whole season. But
could be Morgan Edge.
Really
Morgan Edge may end up being the big bad for both of them. So
yeah, that seems more likely actually because he doesn't have good intent.
Right, right. He is a bad guy. Like, he's through and through a bad guy. He knows
what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So talking about this version of Lex, he is from this other Earth. We don't know what Earth this is from, but because of Crisis, something to do with that, he came and, he came to this Earth. And this version of Superman from his Earth turned out to be bad. He turned out to be evil. And so he's got I think it was the suit from Elseworlds. Was he wearing?
It was the suit from Elseworlds, but I think the insignia, like the S was different. I think it was slightly different on the chest, but I could be wrong. I think it was like the design was slightly different, but we'd have to go look.
Yeah. We'll go back and look. Anyway, it looks very similar to that black suit we saw before. And so this version of Superman is in fact bad. I'm right.
Yes.
I talked about this idea that he may be like just known as Kal-El or known as something else, and he used to be Superman.
I just double checked. It looked like it was different, but it's actually the same. It's just it's a better shot of it. And it is the black suit from Elseworlds. It's the same.
Okay, so I guess like they're just reusing it rather than just,
it makes sense. It was a great suit for just one thing. So
it was. Yeah. So yeah, he is over there. I don't know if he's still around. Like, what happens if he shows up at one point? Like, wouldn't that be amazing? Superman versus Superman.
It would be because then, So I mean, I don't know if he will. I mean, that would be great if he did, because then that would mean that Luthor would team up. Like, what a way to turn things around, right? Like, if he shows up and Luthor teams up with the Superman that we know to fight off this evil Superman, I mean, that would be great. Because the AI he's even said or alluded to the fact that our version of Superman hasn't evolved the same way the one he knew did. So it's quite possible the black suited Superman from his Earth is more powerful, and it may take both of them to stop him, and that may end up being what's going to happen. Because I tell you this, if we had an evil version of Superman on Earth Prime, that would be rough. That would be really, really rough. So yeah, and that could turn things around. If there's anything that would flip Luthor to take the side of our Superman, it would be something like that. So
yeah. Okay, so we have a super chat from Chuck King, and thank you very much for the super chat. 5 Canadian. We got a Canadian here. So Chuck King says, I can confirm that I teared up at the Wells fam dying. At the Wells fam. Oh, okay, so he just means Wells. Dying. How will Barry ever live up to their legacy? Also predictions on GN #3 Big Bad Chilblain. Oh, graphic novel. Got it. Graphic novel Big Bad. Okay, so let's go for the first thing. Did you tear up with Wells? Eric?
Yeah. I talked about this in my review as well. I mean, it was an emotional scene, and I think he means by Wells fam. I think he means the Council of Wells, like the whole, like all of the Wells, like the Wells family. And I mean, yeah, it was crazy. I mean, every single speech. I mean, it was only like a couple minutes of the episode, but it was super impactful. I definitely was emotional, and I'm not usually emotional for the Flash. I'm just not. So this was like a really big moment, which is why I'm glad it was in this premiere. Like, even if you didn't think about this as 6.5, which is how I thought of it, if you were coming back and you didn't realize what had happened, because a lot of people may not have realized that the season ended early because of that. They might just assume that this is the beginning of the season or whatever. What a great way to come into the season. Shocking, bold, emotional. Yeah, definitely.
Bang. Yeah, totally. And I mean, I said this yesterday. I didn't tear up. I sometimes tear up. Like, I don't think I teared up when Oliver died, but I remember vividly tearing up when Stein died, you know, in one of the past crossovers. So I think they hit it quite a lot, but I felt it, you know.
It takes really good writing to make you feel something, and I think a lot of times they try and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, like, but I felt it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't cry, but I did feel it. So how will Barry ever live up to their legacy? Any thoughts? You know, be the Flash.
I don't think he has to live up to anything. I think the entire reason they did it is because they feel like Barry has already lived up to their legacy. Like, they wouldn't sacrifice themselves if they didn't believe Barry was doing what he needs to do. So I think it's fine. I don't think he has to do anything extra. I think they believe in him, and that's enough.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think, you know, he just needs to continue being a hero, doing what Wells wanted him to do.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, that's what he needs to live up to. Okay, and so Chuck King also says, also predictions on graphic novel #3 Big Bad. It's not Chilblain. He is not a big bad. He is just a recurring villain. But any thoughts on the graphic novel #3 Big Bad? Do you think it's going to be Godspeed, or do you think he's going to be #4?
Oh my gosh. I don't know, because here's the thing. I hate that Eric Wallace dropped Zoom's name, because now in my mind, all I can think about is like, when is Zoom going to come back? When are we going to get Zoom again? I would love to see him. Like, a lot of people don't like Zoom as a villain. I think he's one of the best villains we've had in the Arrowverse, honestly. I really, really liked Teddy Sears' portrayal of that character. I think he was the most, like, I love Reverse Flash. Reverse Flash is generally my favorite villain for the Flash. I really, really enjoy him. But Zoom, this version that we got on TV, is so different from anything that we have in the comics that it really took me a while to appreciate it, because I didn't really totally appreciate it during that season. But looking back at it, what a really good villain, and so evil. We've never seen Barry decimated the way he was from Zoom. I mean, Zoom, and that scene of him dragging the Flash around the city and just pulling him by his head, we've never seen anything like that. So for me, I would love to see someone like Zoom come back for graphic novel #3.
100%.
But
like,
we'll see.
I mean, if he ever brings back Zoom, I'm going to freak out. And like, if it is more than just like a cameo appearance, oh my God, like, you know, everyone would be all over that because Zoom is my favorite villain. Like Eric Wallace said, that's his favorite villain as well. I think season 2 is amazing, and you're right. Like that scene with him dragging Barry through the street, and then, you know, literally freaking you remember inside Jitters with the police officers, and he had the camera, and he goes around and he snaps everyone's necks. Like
we also forget the fact that Zoom somehow as a speedster could just travel through the multiverse without any help at all in the beginning. He didn't need a portal or anything. He literally just did it. Like it wasn't just time travel. Like he would reach out and just pull a portal and run through into another Earth. Like we hadn't seen anything like that at that point. So
yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
Also, I want to point out that the mysteries around Zoom season have been the best that the show has ever had. I don't think they've ever topped it. The closest we got to that was the Reverse Flash mysteries from season 5, honestly.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like the mysteries around it was so good. So I just had someone in the chat saying how to super chat, so I just pulled up my screen. We'll get back to the Zoom thing in a minute, but you click this button down here for those that don't know, and you click super chat, and you can do whatever you want and type in your question here, and that is the best way to get answered. Like I've mentioned to you guys, we're going to try and get through your questions in the chat. However, there is just way too many because obviously the shows are back.
I know, like that's the thing is like, guys, you have to realize there's so much to talk about. So
yeah, so we're going to get to them. But yeah. Okay, so let's go back to, well, we'll get back to Zoom in a minute. Let's just answer this super chat from, Captain J, and Captain J says, wouldn't that be like the Savitar story, kinda?
What are we talking about? What would be like the Savitar story?
I'm not 100% sure, Captain J.
The Zoom story is nothing like Savitar. It's a completely different thing.
Captain J, can you clarify in the chat what you exactly mean, and then we'll go back to that. So thank you for your support, and we'll get back to that in a minute. Also, thank you, Tina, for the $1.99 super chat. Thanks for the compliment as well, and the support for the channel. But yeah, so let's quickly get back to
Savitar
and Savitar. So obviously, wait, what were we at? Because I totally forgot.
Zoom. We were just talking about how the mystery was like really good because it was the best one we had since like since season 5 or whatever. Also, the flips on that, because here's the thing. Just piece this in your mind, guys. Piece this in your mind, right? So we had Zoom running around doing Zoom stuff. Then we had Jay Garrick show up, who then tricked them into believing that he didn't exist as Jay Garrick on their Earth because of Hunter Zolomon, which was not, that was a total red herring that he did with Caitlin or whatever. And then we find out that he was actually Hunter Zolomon, and he's a mass murderer on his Earth who got turned into a speedster who has been Zoomed the whole time. And he had captured Jay Garrick and locked him up in a metal mask inside of an old warehouse somewhere. Like, it's a really great season. Yeah, that season was amazing. Amazing season. I always go back and forth on which season I like better, 1 or 2, because I really feel like 2 still, in my opinion, has had the best individual episodes of any season of The Flash.
I agree. You can just go back and watch them and just enjoy, you know, every moment that you can.
And we got to meet Earth 2 for the first time in season 2.
Yeah, and it was the introduction of the multiverse.
And Harry Wells from Earth 2.
Exactly. Like, you had one of the best characters coming in terms of Harry. You had the introduction of Killer Frost. You know, you got to see these alternate versions. Like, I think one of my favorite episodes was when they went to Earth 2 for the first time.
It is. Because Cisco and Barry are so hyped for being there. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. And it's like, they're like us. You know, we're so excited to see another Earth. Like, it's such a cool idea. So, yeah, I think season 2 nails it. And I'm really hoping for that sort of mystery, because I feel like they've very much so neglected that side of the show.
I know Pagey's not here, but he said that he doesn't like the mystery stuff. I love the mystery stuff. It's like my favorite stuff in the shows.
Yeah, totally. It's one of the best things. And like, I think that's what makes villains so compelling. In the past, like, if you look at the villains, right, it's obvious that the mystery works because you have Reverse Flash, right? Unless you saw leaks or you figured it out, right? Most people didn't know it at first, right? Who he
Right.
was. And then you have Zoom, like you said, there was all the mystery surrounding him. Savitar, everyone was guessing.
And let's be honest, nobody really hated the Savitar thing until it was revealed.
Until the twist.
Right.
Yeah, until the reveal. So, I mean, yeah.
The Reverse Flash stuff from season 5, that was really popular. Yeah. Everybody loved that.
The Nora stuff in season 4 was probably the most popular thing.
And that was very vague. That was a tiny bit of that season, but it was really popular. Yeah.
But it was really popular. And like, so many people were talking about that more than like, so now I give you season 4's villain, DeVoe. Who liked him? Like, apart from PAGEY, but he's mad.
I thought DeVoe was good in the beginning, and then it just fell apart. Once he started jumping through bodies, I kind of lost interest in that character.
Yeah, me too. I completely lost interest with that.
Because I think that Barry and DeVoe had great chemistry when they were like talking and stuff. But once you took that out of the equation, it just became boring to me. So
yeah, it became boring. And, you know, they were hopping bodies and like, my argument here is mystery is important for the Flash and like how much people enjoy the show.
You know what would have been more mysterious if we didn't know that they were hopping bodies. If we would have had these villains every single week that knew stuff about the Flash, but we didn't know who it was, that would have been better because then we wouldn't know what's going on. But since we already knew that DeVoe was hopping bodies, it's like, oh, here he is in another person's body. Like it just, it was really boring. Yeah.
Then you had Cicada next season. I mean, like, he just got annoying. Like, he was jumping away, like, every time, like Alice in this season of Batwoman, according to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree.
Yeah, and then, so, no mystery there. And then season 6.
Well, there was sort of a mystery. They tried to do the mystery with, like, where he got his powers from and all that stuff, but it just didn't work. Nobody cared. Work.
That's the problem. And then I feel like season 6 did a better job at villains. Even though it wasn't that mysterious, you had some interesting parts of like blood work, some compelling parts that didn't just rely on mystery. But it still wasn't as good as the first 3 seasons.
I think that season 6 of The Flash was more about reestablishing the characters than it was the actual season. Because we had seasons 4 and 5 were so for The Flash that I think they needed to reel it back in a little bit. So I have to give them a little bit of credit for sort of reestablishing the tone of the show, because as you can tell coming into this season, the tone is still consistent. I still really like it. The humor was appropriate where it was, and it wasn't too slapstick. So, but yeah, you're right. The mystery wasn't there, but I think they were trying to just reestablish the tone of the show.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they did a pretty good job with that. Anyway, so let's go back to the super chat that Captain J said, because he did clarify. So wouldn't that be like the Savitar story kind of? So he was talking about the Superman versus evil Superman. So the idea of two doppelgangers.
Yeah. It would be if he ends up being like a long-standing like villain for the season, but I think if they just bring him in, like just to connect Luthor with our Superman for like maybe 2 episodes or so, I'd be okay with that, because because the thing about Savitar was the reason why a lot of people hated it was a predictable, because he said, I'm the future Flash in like episode 4 or something.
Yeah.
So it was kind of predictable for a lot of people. I think that was what annoyed people. Like if we knew that was Barry all along, I don't think people would have, like if we had an evil Barry for the entire season, I think people would have been okay with that. I don't think anybody would have had a problem with that. It was just the reveal was bad. So I don't think this is the same situation, because I don't think Superman from this other Earth would come and pretend to be someone else. I think he would just be evil Superman or Overman or Ultraman or whatever name he wants to use.
Yeah. It would be like, you know, in the past crossovers, you had like Overgirl, like the evil version of Supergirl, like the evil version of Green Arrow. I think it was called like Earth X Arrow or something, like Dark Arrow. And they were really cool because it was like a contained evil doppelganger version of them, but like,
and there was no real mystery. I mean, we knew what they were supposed to be,
but it was good because it was like just like a short arc that explored the versions. Like it was really good. Okay, so let's move on. So we got a $2 Canadian super chat from Chok King. Thank you very much, Chok King, for your support towards the channel. And he says, either you excited for Stargirl? Oh, either of you excited for Stargirl season 2? I am. Eric, are you excited?
Yes, I'm very excited. I love season 1 of Stargirl. It was probably one of my favorite shows last season. So I'm really, really excited for it. It blew me away. I was a little bit apprehensive because I don't know a lot about the character. Like whenever I'm watching a show where I don't know a lot about the character, I'm always like, I don't know how I feel about it. But it did really well. It introduced a lot of good characters. The special effects were really good. Like, here's the thing. If you look at Superman and Lois now, Stargirl was the precursor to what we have now, because the cinematography and VFX in Stargirl it's just a step down from where Superman and Lois is. And I think that this was what led into the quality that we have on Superman and Lois, was because of Stargirl. So I'm very excited for season 2. And the fact that we know the connection is going to happen. We're going to have Jay Garrick on Stargirl season 2. So how that's going to work, I don't know, but I'm super excited for it. So
yeah, no, that's really exciting. And so I wasn't, in terms of Stargirl, like I was looking forward to it because I liked Stargirl and I liked her in the brief appearance she had. Obviously, it was a different actor, but in the JSA on Legends, I enjoyed that little story arc there. So I was like, I really like Stargirl. I've seen her in like some animated shows and stuff, and I wasn't that familiar, but like I was looking forward to it. And then, you know, good cast, good people behind the scenes. Jeff Johns working on it. It's
not a typical CW show either. It doesn't have the same like drama that we normally get in the CW show. So.
And I totally think you're right. You hit it on the head. It was the precursor for Superman and Lois because it's really good quality. Every episode, I was literally sitting there. I remember like in the summer, because like it was on week by week and it was the only show we had on. You know, I was sitting there and I was like, wow, this is really good. Like just to myself, like.
Think about this. So we've got Batwoman, Black Lightning, Flash, and Superman and Lois right now, right? These shows are going to go on. They're going to slowly dip away. And then we're going to have Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and Stargirl all on around the same time. Yeah. It's going to be great. Like we're going to, a bunch of shows are going to go away. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
And when Supergirl finishes, it's going to be the start of the new season of Flash.
Right.
I'm telling you guys.
And don't forget,
got 20 episodes.
Even if you don't like it, Titans is coming on in like May, I think. May or June or something like that. So we're going to have another 4 shows on at the same time. So
even though it's been, you know, a long time without DCTV and the Arrowverse, we're going to have a lot more. And
do you remember what I said right before this year started? I was like, next year is going to be crazy with shows.
Yeah.
I kept saying that every week. I kept telling people, hold on. We're going to have a 2021 that's going to be absolutely insane. And it looks like it's panning out to be that way. So
I guess, you know, I'm happy about that because always in the summer, it's like normally it's like the hardest thing for us YouTubers covering DCTV shows because we're searching. We're like, can we come up with any cool theories?
What story is that? Oh, can I talk about that? I don't know if I can do a video on that or not. So
you know, we get any like snippets and we're like, oh yeah, that's so exciting. But now we're gonna have like, you know, the Flash is gonna end, Batwoman's gonna end. You know, Superman Lois is going to end. Then we're going to get starting with like Supergirl, Legends, Stargirl, and then we're going to move on to the next seasons. Like, I think it all turned out for the best, and I'm really excited.
And I hope into 2022 we keep this thing where we have some shows on during the summertime as well, because that will definitely bridge that gap for us. Because we're only going to have like maybe a month where nothing is going to be on, and then everything will come back again. So. Yeah. I am a little sad that Wonder Girl's not coming though, because I was really excited for that show. But
yeah, I was really excited. I think that would have been a great addition. It's like perfect for the CW, I feel like. But oh well. Okay, let's move on. We got a few super chat questions that we need to go through. So Jamie says, and he sends in the 199 super chat. Thank you very much, Jamie. He says, didn't we get a Superman versus Superman in Crisis?
That wasn't a real one though. That was
it was a fake version. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was Deegan as Superman, so he wasn't really Superman. I mean, I get what he's saying. Visually, yes, we did see that, but that wasn't actually Superman. This will truly be Superman v Superman. Like it'll be Kal-El versus Kal-El.
Yeah. So this is going to be a bit different, and I mean, and it would be very cool.
And look at the graphics we have now. So it's going to be very, very different from what we got on the crossover. They've got a lot more money to put into this. So
totally. Yeah. And I mean, I hope this dark version of Superman shows up.
Did we start something here? I hope we didn't start something, because we talked about it. So now people are going to go around and say that we're going to get this. We might get it. Maybe.
Get it trending. Superman versus Superman. It's happening. Okay. Captain J sends in another super chat. Thank you very much for the support, Captain J. Okay. He says, read the article. He said, read the article saying the Flash is going to appear in the next episode of Black Lightning. Now, I haven't heard this, and I'm pretty sure there's not a Black Lightning crossover.
Okay. I've said this so many times on social media. So the articles, I think it's like Cosmic Book News, and we got this covered in places like that are starting this rumor. And I could debunk this very easily. Black Lightning is literally a year ahead of the other shows. It's in chronologically, it takes place a year apart. They took a break. None of the other shows did. Legends is going to start where it left off. I'm assuming Supergirl is going to start kind of where it left off.
Yeah.
Flash started where it left off. Black Lightning was a year ahead of these other shows. Batwoman even started where it left off. So it wouldn't make any sense for the Flash to appear on Black Lightning, even in the context of the shows. The other thing is, Black Lightning is filmed in Atlanta. Flash is filmed in Vancouver. That means if Grant were going to do one episode, it would take him 2 months to go and do this, because he'd have to do a 14-day quarantine in Atlanta, film for one episode, which will probably take 3 to 5 days, and then fly back to Vancouver and do another 14-day quarantine. There's no way they would take that much time away from filming of the Flash to put him on an episode of Black Lightning.
Yeah. No way.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, apparently Canada Grove said it was a Facebook fan page insisting.
That's where it started. Yeah, that's where it started. Other places have picked it up, though. I think it was that guy Lance Osfresser, I think, is who started it.
I don't know who he is, but
yeah. Well, he runs the pages, but they usually pick up his scoops and run them. So I do believe that was where it originated. I've just seen it in a lot of places, like the actual places, like real legitimate sites. Aren't really running the story.
Yeah, no way. Just ignore some of those sites.
Batwoman started 3 to 4 days after the end of last season.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a few more super chats to get through. We got Vera here, and Vera sends in 400 Hungarian forints. Thank you very much. Vera says, Superman, The Flash, Supergirl, who is your favorite? So you guys in the chat, send in who's your favorite hero, what's your favorite show, Flash or Supergirl. I guess we can't really compare Superman and Lois right now. But in terms of me, my favorite hero out of those three, so I love Supergirl and I love the Flash. Like, they're my two favorite DC Comics characters, and they're my two favorite characters in the Arrowverse. So it's pretty much neck and neck for me. But I will say I overall prefer the Flash as a show, only because season 1, 2, and 3 was so strong, like unbelievably strong for me. Like, I really love season 3, right? I know not everyone loves the ending, but I liked it. So it sort of best sit. Although I love Supergirl and like I love season 1, 2, 3, didn't really like 4 that much until the back half. Season 5 was all right, and I love Supergirl, so that's saying a lot that the Flash is beating it. But what about you, Eric?
Okay, so Flash is literally my favorite DC superhero. So I already have a bias towards the Flash.
Yeah,
I love Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. But Superman and Lois is such a new show. It would be really weird for me to say Superman is my favorite. Supergirl, I've been one of those people that I did not like Supergirl in the start. I did not really like the show. I started to like it more over time. I think by season 3, it was like one of my favorite shows. I really, really like season 3 of Supergirl. But I think overall, based on the 3 shows, the one that I enjoy the most, even when I'm not enjoying the stories and stuff, would be the Flash, because even when I'm not happy with what's going on, I still find the Flash to be my favorite one. So I'd say Flash. It could change if Superman and Lois is really good. I might change my mind. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we love like Stargirl and stuff, and like, I guess like I get this question a lot, and I don't know if you get this a lot because you cover most of the shows. But like in terms of content coverage, obviously, I do the Flash and Supergirl, and I'm committed to doing Superman and Lois. So I'm going to be sticking to that, obviously. But it's kind of hard to do all of the shows, and it's really based on you know, how well the videos do and like how responsive you guys are.
Yeah.
So when I get asked, are you gonna do Black Lightning or Batwoman, like I think I'm
the only person that's still reviewing Batwoman that's not just hating on the show. Like, I've got criticisms of it. I don't think it's a bad show. I just don't like some of the stuff they're doing right now, and I think some of the storylines are bad. But I think it's still got potential. But I think I'm the one person who's kind of sticking it out now. A lot of people started reviewing it at the beginning because it was new and they wanted it to be good. But then I think around episode 3 or 4, people had decided whether or not they want to continue to review the show.
Yeah.
And yeah. For me, I kept reviewing it because I did the same thing with Legends of Tomorrow. Like, I stuck out Legends of Tomorrow season 4 till about like 8 or 9 episodes in, and then I just couldn't do it anymore because it was like, I just can't with this series. But with Batwoman, I want to give it a shot because I really like Javicia Leslie, and I love the possibility of this new Batwoman. But I will admit, out of all the shows that I'm watching right now, the one that I'm having the hardest time getting excited about now is Batwoman. I think Black Lightning is really, really good, but Black Lightning is getting no promotion. It makes it really hard to get visibility because they're not promoting it. So therefore, the only promotion it gets are people like me that make reviews of it because nobody else is really talking about it. So, and I told PAGEY, like, over 3 days time, I have to make like 4 or 5 videos because I have to do the reviews of these shows within like a window. We all know it's like a 24-hour window. You have 24 hours to get these videos out.
Or you get nothing. Yeah.
Right. No. So yeah, it's rough. It's tough. And I think it's going to get even worse as we get more shows piling on top of these. I think it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be crazy. And I mean, yeah, I just, you know, sometimes I'm asked that and I'm like, you know, sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes, you know, if I love a show, of course I'm going to review it. And like, I did like quite a few Stargirl ones because I really liked it. But yeah, I'm very happy that my Superman Lois stuff, like, you guys are actually properly like into the show. I feel like everyone's loving it. I haven't really seen that many criticisms apart from like people who are obsessed with like Henry Cavill's Superman or something.
It's really weird. I've had that argument with several people and they're always like, oh, I just want Superman to have the proper time and everything. And I'm like, no, you want Henry Cavill to have proper time. Because if you're a Superman fan, you would give other Superman a chance.
Exactly. So, yeah. We'll wait and see. Okay, so Janelli just upgraded her membership to Super Friend. Thank you very much, Janelli, for your constant support. Awesome. And yeah, I introduced a new thing. So if you guys become a member, so this is a new idea, and I was thinking of ways to like interact with my members. Obviously, there is a few things that lots of people do. But we're going to be doing for Super Friends and it's Super Best Friend. And, you know, it's obviously a spin on like the Super Friends, one of my favorite episodes, Duet. But yeah, so thank you, Janelli. And the new thing that we're introducing is like a monthly Zoom call between all of us members. So yeah, thank you very much, Janelli. And if any of you guys want to become members, all you need to do is click the join button. Okay. So we got a bunch of super chats we need to get through.
Let's do them. Come on.
Let's do it. Let's speed through these. Chuck King sends in $2. Thank you very much. Last minute predictions for WandaVision finale. Eric, go.
Last minute predictions. I think it's going to be a letdown for all the theories that people have been doing. I don't think we're going to get anything like that. I think it really is. I think this past episode set up exactly what we need to know going into the finale. I think we're still going to see one more like big cameo. I think it's going to set up for Doctor Strange 2 and Spider-Man 3. And I think we're going to find out for sure if they're committed to like a big Young Avengers storyline, because we have these 2 kids in there now. If they want to do a Young Avengers, then Wiccan and Speed have to stick around.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Yeah, my main thoughts is, number one, the show is amazing. Like, I'm telling you, it's my favorite Marvel thing, and I'm not just saying it because it's.
I like it more than some of the movies, honestly.
No, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think it's better than every movie for me. Like, I love the Marvel films, and that must be emphasized. But like, I just feel like this is so different, and even when it's like outside and it feels a bit more Marvel-y, it's still completely different. I think the whole concept, like, you know, bringing in like the sitcom stuff, and basically, you know, I think they've done an excellent job. And I didn't really like Wonder and Vision that much before WandaVision, and now they're like some of my favorite characters. And if that's saying anything, I think, you know, they've done a really good job. But yeah, I think the theories are going to be let down for a lot of people who are going crazy over it.
I think it's going to be really good. Keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad finale. I'm just saying that rein in your expectations so that way you'll be really surprised with whatever they do.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Tina sends in a $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Tina. Why are there so many shows coming up all together? Well, so we kind of explained that. So what is going on, for those of you guys who don't know, is the shows got delayed, and then that is why they're all kind of stacked up, because they need to find release dates for the shows, and that's why they're stacking up one after the other, basically. Okay, so Joseph Smith sends in a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Joseph. Joseph says, do you think they'll bring Red Death to the show? I don't think so this season. There is still a possibility, but we've been saying that for like years now. So, Eric,
I've got a really good question for people that ask this, because I see this like all the time, the Red Death thing. Number one, ask yourself, do you want to see Red Death on the show that's not Batman? Yeah. Because that's not who it's going to be. It's going to be something else completely. That's the first and foremost. Secondly, if it's not Batman, how would they set it up? Because we don't even know about a dark multiverse right now. So we're in a really weird situation where it's not going to be Batman, and it probably won't be the dark multiverse. So it's going to be disappointing for people that want it, because we have to establish a Batman before we can make the Flash Batman happen. So yeah. Could we get it? Yes. Is it going to be what people want right now if it comes this season? Probably not. So if you want a good, accurate Red Death, we have to wait a while. They could do a flip and make Red Death, like have Javicia come over as Batwoman, who is Red Death. That would be cool, but I don't think that's going to be. Yes, it would be like for a crossover. It would not be for a weekly thing. They could do that for like a when they do the episode crossovers and stuff. That's it.
I agree. Okay. Who is your favorite DC villain? So I'm going to say this is to do with the Arrowverse. So what do you say your favorite DC Arrowverse?
Oh, so are we talking specifically about the Arrowverse then?
Specifically Arrowverse, and you can say your
Do we want to go with like my my fast food answer, the one that everybody kind of expects, and that would be Reverse Flash. I think Reverse Flash is probably my favorite Arrowverse villain. If you want me to go for somebody that I wouldn't say second, but I would say my unconventional favorite, the one that I really love that a lot of people probably don't, or they probably do, but it might not be their first, would be Prometheus from Arrow. I think Prometheus was my favorite villain on Arrow. So
God, I kind of forgot. Like that guy literally saved the show. Like I'm telling you,
after like Arrow, the season they had,
yeah, literally like that season came, season 5, completely out of nowhere. Like Arrow season 4 was so bad. Like I was just dying because I love Arrow, and I saw it and I was like, oh my God.
It was not good at all.
Then Prometheus comes and he literally saved the show. So yeah, great pick. He's definitely my favorite Arrow villain. Like people say Deathstroke, but Prometheus for me it's like much better in my opinion. But my favorite Arrowverse villain definitely is definitely Zoom. I love Zoom, and
I could see that too. I would have no problem with that. Can I throw out an honorable mention?
Sure.
Rain. I think Rain was really, really good on Supergirl.
Rain is so good. She is the best Supergirl villain. I think if I was talking in terms of like my top 3 favorites, because you gave 3, I'm going to say Zoom, Reverse Flash. Actually, wait. Zoom, Prometheus, and Rain.
Okay.
And probably Reverse Flash, but you said Reverse Flash, so I'm going to put that to that's my honorable mention.
All right. That's good.
Okay, so yeah.
So you got 3 for the price of 1, Jay. There you go.
Exactly. You got like a whole bunch of them. Okay, Captain J sent in the super chat. Thank you very much for your consistent support throughout the stream, Captain J. He says, advice on doing reviews. What type of camera and setup? So Eric can give you his kind of perspective. Like you do a lot of camera stuff. I don't really do camera stuff normally.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, kind of just, if you're doing Arrowverse stuff, like know your backgrounds, do your research, and just try and talk. Don't stutter. If you can't talk about it, don't do it. You know?
I was say, if you're not going to be on camera, you want to get a good quality microphone, because that's going to be the only thing that people are focused on is your voice. So you want to make sure your audio is good. I mean, you should have good audio in general, but if you're not going to be on camera, you really want to sound like you want that to be specifically good, because you're going to be using photos and videos, obviously. So you want to make sure your voice comes through clear and that it's recognizable. If you're going to use camera, you have to be comfortable being on camera and using cliff notes, because you don't want to sit on camera. Like, let me give you an example of what I don't want to do when I'm on camera. This is my, I've got a monitor here and here, right? This is where the camera is. So if I'm doing a review and I were to write out my notes, which I've done that before, but if I were to do that, it would be like, and so today the Flash did blah, 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 and did this and ran, like I'm staring over here reading off of the notes. You have to be able on camera to basically like give banter and talk. Without like, you know, without missing a beat. So you have to do cliff notes. So if you're going to be on camera, my advice is practice a little bit, even if you have to set up videos and talk about nothing. Pick a TV show you love that may not be related or whatever. And I would say, if you're going to start out and you don't know if you're going to use a camera, say for example, you're brand new and you're just coming into it, get a 720p camera. You can get one of those for like $20 or whatever. There's plenty of free software out there that you can use. You can use OBS, that's free. That's what I typically use. You can even use websites to edit if you have to. You can edit on YouTube. A lot of people don't know this. If you upload your raw file into YouTube, you can edit it before you upload it. So you can just use the YouTube editor if you have to. Just make sure you're comfortable on camera, because if people see that you're not comfortable, they're going to know it, and then it's going to make you even more self-conscious. So get a solid camera. It doesn't have to be the best. Focus on your audio. Audio is the most important over camera, even if you are going to do camera reviews. And you know, don't read off your screen if you're going to be on camera, because it gets really boring doing that. So
no, I agree. And I also recommend, if you're trying to do reviews, for me, I would highly recommend, like Eric was saying, like being able to talk on camera. Like if you're just talking into the microphone, yes, you can have notes. Notes are great, but you need to be able to talk normally, not like a robot. You just need to be able to spin off the top of your head.
And don't ramble. That's the hard part. You don't want to ramble on too much. You want to keep everything as edited as possible. I do that once in a while still, where you ramble a bit and you have to go in and chop it up. So yeah. Try not to repeat yourself too much, but everyone slips into it every now and again. So yeah, we got a few more super chats. Canada Graphs, he sends in a 10 Canadian. Thank you very much, Canada Graphs. And he says, all right, got to get back to work. And he said, go buy Eric a birthday cake. That is right. And then enjoy your new pictures. And he is talking to me specifically because there's new Supergirl photos. You can go, if you're a Patreon member of Canada Graphs, you can check them out. And are you doing a video on these new pictures? Or are you going to like...
Luckily for me, he sent me them. So
okay, good.
They are coming probably tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that, guys.
Yeah. By the way, I needed to talk to you, and we'll do it right here on the live stream. I'm having a special like 1 hour birthday stream on Saturday. And of course you're invited to come. It's not going to be a playback stream or anything. It's literally, if you're there, you're there. And if you're not, then you just miss out on the stream. I'm not going to save it to my channel. So I'll throw up the dates and times or whatever, but I'll send links to everybody. So people just want to stop in.
Hell yeah. No, I would love that. Okay. Let's move on. So we got Daniela, and Daniela sends in 50 SEK. Do you know what that is?
Let's see.
SEK is Swedish. Swedish krona.
Yeah. Because I got some of this the other night. I remember this one.
Right.
Yeah, SEK.
Well, thank you very much, Daniela, and thank you from Sweden. I've actually been to Sweden. Like I used to go.
I want to go. One of my best friends is from Sweden, so.
Yeah, I used to go. Like I've been like 5 or 6 times, I think, when I was younger. Great place. Okay, so Daniela's question is, on Supergirl, General Lane worked with Henshaw to purge aliens. That's right. That was in season 1. Any thoughts regarding Superman Lois? Now he's a totally new character. Also no mention of Kara and Lucy. Okay, so what they're doing on Superman Lois right now is they are retconning the hell out of that show. The retconning all the stuff with Supergirl, like we've seen Morgan Edge before. He was a very different character. I don't think Lex counts as a retcon because it's an alternate version.
Yeah.
But then you've got like, yes, you're right, Daniela. General Lane was completely different in Supergirl. He was the normal antagonist that General Lane normally is, and on Superman Lois, he is more, on Superman's side. However, there was actually this deleted scene that I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you saw it, Eric, but they released an extended version of the episode.
Yeah, because apparently the one that comes out on HBO Max is going to be longer. So yeah, but they released those clips already.
Yeah, so I saw that, and I saw the clip, and Superman talks to General Lane about his encounter with Lex, and you have some of that confrontation where it's like, this version of General Lane that we're seeing on Superman Lois is all for Superman, and that whole kind of argument they had last episode was because he's so adamant about him being Superman and like not being distracted and everything like that. So they have this connection. This version of Lex had a connection to the alternate version of General Lane. So is he going to turn into our normal General Lane? What do you think, Eric?
So first of all, I think the reason why he wants Superman to be on task is because that's the biggest weapon that he has at his disposal. Like having Superman there is like Supergirl and the DEO. Like that's their, like, you need your big guns. That's who you send out. You send out Supergirl, you send out Superman. That's to take out whatever you need to take out. So for him, everything that's not being Superman is a distraction. Like I think he would be more comfortable with Superman coming to work every day and working with him in a military facility than being at home with his kids and stuff. I really truly believe that. So that's number one. The thing about him flipping and turning on Superman. So the only way that could happen is if Superman gets tricked into doing something that makes him look like a bad guy. That's really the only way. Now we know there's certain bits of kryptonite that could make them do something they don't normally do. I don't know if that'll get introduced or whatever, but I think that's what it would take for General Lane to turn on him. He'd have to see proof that Superman could be evil.
Yeah.
And that's really the only way it's going to happen. Because General Lane's a military guy. He's black and white, good and bad. Yeah. There's no gray area with him. So once Superman crosses that line, that's it. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. So yeah, I mean, that pretty much wraps up. Like, yeah, they're just changing the character. They're retconning it. And
anything pre-crisis can be changed at this point. I mean, that's pretty much what they're saying. So
yeah. Okay, so let's move on. We have another super chat down here from Robert Hearn. I think first time super chat. Thank you very much, Robert, for the £5. And Robert says, I've ordered my Reverse Flash outfit from China and it's on its way. That's cool. Wait, Eric, I swear you have like a Flash costume or something.
I do. I have two, actually. I have one from the show and then I have one from the comics. So
yeah.
But mine are like just fun ones. They're not like super detailed. They're just like one zipper and the hood and everything. So I'll probably wear it on my birthday stream. If you guys want to see it, I'll wear my Flash suits on my birthday stream. So
go check out Eric's channel. It's in the description below. If you guys want to subscribe, and then he's gonna wear the Flash on his birthday stream.
I'll be the Flash. I'll be Barry Allen for my birthday. So
yeah, he's gonna be the Flash. But yeah, in terms of like costumes and stuff, like I really like. I'm looking forward to cons being back on when they are. But I really admire people who go out of their way and like create cosplay. Like I'm not confident enough to do that, I don't think yet. But like I guess if I went as anyone, like who would you guys go as to like a Comic-Con, like San Diego Comic-Con or whatever? Like if you could cosplay, I think for me, I'm not confident enough to go anything crazy. I would go like John Constantine, with his like trench coat or something.
Yeah. I did Jor-El from Man of Steel.
Oh, okay.
Like I did that whole suit. I had the cape and the armor and everything that I had made, but the problem was that it was so heavy because it was all 3D printed that it wasn't very comfortable to walk around in. And so I have like 2 or 3 pictures of it, but that was like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. It was like right after the movie came out. So yeah, it's 3D printing is much easier now than it was back then. And it's much lighter. Back then it was still kind of new. So yeah, but I think I would go easier though. I'd have more fun with it. I've seen like cosplay people that wear like they do like alternate versions of Deadpool. Like I've seen Superman Deadpool, I've seen, Spider-Man Deadpool, I've seen Spider-Gwen Deadpool, I've seen so many different Deadpools. It's hilarious. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's good fun. And well, actually, on that note, so if you guys didn't see the announcement, San Diego Comic-Con, the big Comic-Con of the whole year, I went 2 years ago now, or nearly 2 years ago in 2019.
Seems like so
actually,
long ago.
yeah, so long ago. Actually, I met PAGEY there, so that was funny. And we literally stayed there for the whole day at the DCTV panels, and he was watching, and he was chucking the whole time. And,
oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, the whole time.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. But no, it was good fun, and I can't wait for it to come back. But they just announced that San Diego Comic-Con isn't going to be happening this year.
Right.
However, it's going to be happening online. But last year it wasn't very big, so I'm supposing DC fandom is probably going to happen again, right?
Yeah. So I want to say this, and I'm going to do this as a prediction. So I think that the actual like physical like Comic-Con obviously is not going to be a thing, but I do believe by time we get to the time when Comic-Con would happen, that traveling and restrictions are going to be much less a problem because like right now in my area, we're already 20% vaccinated in the state. So I would assume by then we're going to be close to 50 to 60% vaccination. So I guess a lot of other states will be very similar. So I'm going to assume that actors will be able to come in and sit on panels together, especially if they've all been vaccinated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be more like a hybrid of like a live Comic-Con and what we got last year. So I think we'll see something more like that, where they're like the actors are together and it's not all just a Zoom meeting. So I think that's what we're going to see. I'm actually kind of excited about it because I feel like this is the first step back into like some bit of normalcy. And then I think 2022, obviously it'll be back 100%. So
yeah.
But I honestly believe the online aspect of it may continue. I think they'll still have the one that's live and in person, but I think they found out there is a market for doing it online. So
yeah. We'll see. And they did say they're planning on doing like a smaller version in November. Like if there's something worth it, like if DCTV actually shows up, like I'd be willing to go because I just want to go back to a Comic-Con. And San Diego Comic-Con was so good. Like I'm telling you, it was the best con I've ever been to. So yeah. Janelli sends in a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Janelli, a member of the channel. She upgraded earlier in the stream. So once again, thank you for your consistent support, Janelli. Janelli says, I live close to San Diego Comic-Con, but I've never been. Eric, have you been? I don't think you have, right?
No, I've been to New York Comic-Con. I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con. So, but the East Coast is easy for me. New York is like 6 hours away. So it's literally easy for me to go. Whereas I'd have to like either pay for tickets to fly to San Diego or whatever. But if it's on the East Coast, I've probably been.
Yeah.
So I know New York Comic-Con isn't the same as San Diego Comic-Con, but it's got the same vibe. So it's a lot of fun. I love that because it's all part of the same brand. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
No, yeah, cons are amazing, and there's a few really good ones in England. Like, it got cancelled, but there is this Supergirl Comic-Con. I'm telling you, like, it's not Supergirl Comic-Con, but it's...
How many times did she come to England? I don't know.
No, she hasn't come at all. Like, she was supposed to come like 3 years in a row.
I know.
But no, that was a different one. That was so that was an
Heroes.
event
Was that Heroes and Villains? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that event, they run some stuff in America as well, I believe. Or they used to, not anymore. But anyway, so that event just so happens where Melissa was supposed to be, you know, where she was supposed to come a couple of times. That literally is where I live right now. I walk 5 minutes and the convention center is outside where I live. So that's kind of crazy, but that's just like a fun fact. But yeah, there is this con in England. They do it in Birmingham. And I've been for the last 2 years, and it's basically a Supergirl Comic-Con. And Kyla has been there each year. Nicole Maines I met Jeremy Jordan 2 years ago there. And
you met Warstu?
That was at Heroes and Villains.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's different. But Heroes and Villains, like Stephen Amell, like literally Tom Cavanaugh, like Hartley Sawyer. you know, Emily Bett Rickards, like Katie Lotz, everyone comes to those. So there is some great ones around the world. You just need to find them. But the best is like supposedly San Diego Comic-Con.
The most down-to-earth actor I've met from any of the DC properties was Mike Rosenbaum.
Really? I haven't met him.
Very good.
Most down-to-earth person I met was probably Franz Drama. I met him in London. And maybe that's just because like we're from a very similar era, like literally so close. But yeah.
He seemed very chill. Like he seemed like he'd be a lot of fun. So
yeah. I don't know. Okay. So we got Joseph, who just became a member of the YouTube channel. So thank you very much, Joseph. Super best friend. That is our highest tier. So thank you very much, Joseph. Yeah, I'll be on contact. And you're going to be part of the monthly Zoom call if you want. I thought that was like a cool addition that we can do.
That's pretty cool. I actually just set up a new tier on mine as well. I only had one, and I set up a second one. Yeah.
So what's your second one?
It's basically it is a user submitted movie review thing. I'll do like a poll each month, and everybody votes on it, and then whatever one wins, I do a review just for my memberships. So that's kind of my next year. And there's actual other perks to it, but that's the big one. So
yeah. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So yeah, I think that just about wraps up. I had some extra stuff, but I don't know, you know, we're at an hour and 25 minutes. I guess we can give it like a few more minutes. So if you guys have any,
I've got at least 15 minutes left if we want to go.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll just do it for a tiny bit more. So keep on sending in your questions and we'll get to them because we'll try and get to as many.
So let me ask you a question. Yeah, sure. How do you feel about Supergirl not having the opportunity to come over to Superman and Lois? Because wouldn't it look amazing to see her in that aspect ratio in that type of a show? Do you think, would you like to see Melissa come back sometimes just to show up on that show after Supergirl ends its series?
Well, you know, of course I would. Like, you know, she's my favorite along with Grant. Like those two neck and neck for me. Yeah, I'm kind of bummed out. I am very bummed out. I'm probably more actually bummed out that probably Grant might not be able to come over to Supergirl for a last time. I think that's the thing that I'm most bummed out about
because they were the new like duo, right? I mean, they were the ones that they were setting up. So
yeah, I just love the dynamic, and I just can't get enough of them together. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess that's my big thing. But yeah,
you know what I would love? I would love if they did, and I know it won't happen, but because of the fact that I think Supergirl may end up going to the future at the end of her series. Mm-hmm. But I would love like a Mon-El, Supergirl, Brainy, Dreamer, like Legion show. I think that would be so good.
Honestly, that is my dream. Like I want, like when Supergirl ends, I think that would be stupid not to do a spinoff. Like I know Superman and Lois is a spinoff, but I mean like with the core, like at least one of the core characters. Like I think a Nia Legion show would just be amazing.
See, I know PAGEY hates Mon-El, but I actually like the character. I think he's got problems, obviously, but that's part of the character's storyline. I mean,
yeah.
So
I don't know, but yeah.
I wish he was here so I could trigger him with Mon-El stuff because I know it's a lot of fun.
I don't. I just don't see the problem with him. I think he's a very likable character, and I don't know, had some interesting stuff over the years. Yeah, but I would like to see Melissa on Superman Lois. I don't really, to be honest, I don't really care aspect ratio stuff. Because I do like it's important, but at the same time, like I'm not like, oh, I want to see them on a different aspect ratio.
I just think it would be cool to
I want to
see
them in.
Yeah.
You're right. No, but I'm agreeing with you here because I'm saying I agree. I want to see her shot the way Superman and Lois is shot, you know? So that is
just for one episode. I just want to see it in one episode. I don't have to see it all the time.
I think they're going to find a way. I just got this feeling they're going to find a way because they're going to be filming. Yeah, maybe it's more likely that Superman will come over to Supergirl because Supergirl is going to be filming till August.
Yes. So, and I think that would work. If he came over to her show to say goodbye to her, that would absolutely work. But yeah.
Either way, I would like it. But I don't know.
There's a lot of things like Black Lightning's last season. They're never going to get to crossover with the other shows again, and they just put them on Prime Earth. So it's like they're on Earth Prime now, and they're not going to do any crossovers. It's really weird.
The whole Justice League is going. It's going to be like completely gone very, very soon.
We have to reestablish them all over again. So,
yeah. Janelli in the chat says, do you think they'll do like one episode in the end of the show that that shows the Legion like they did in the final episode of Arrow? So unless they had something planned, like the Painkiller spinoff on Black Lightning, they're doing an episode for that, but they haven't planned anything with Legion as far as we know. So of course I would love it, but right now, probably not. Eric, probably not.
It would be really expensive for them to make a Legion set and all that just for one like episode at the end. So I don't know if they would. I think, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree, but I think if we are co-signing to the idea that Supergirl will leave and go to the future or whatever to be with the Legion, and because I mean that is a comic book thing. It is possible, right? So I think if they were going to do something like that, I think it will be with Supergirl saying goodbye to everybody and then leaving. I think that's it. I don't think we're going to see anything in the future. And to be honest, I don't know if I would want to, because if they're not going to give me a Legion show, I don't want you to tease me with one episode. But, you know.
I completely agree. Leading on from that, In the Game says, from all three shows that have ended, so that means Arrow, Supergirl, and Black Lightning, or are going to end, what characters do you want to come back from these shows? So let's say, for you guys in the chat, pick one character from Arrow, one character from Supergirl, one character from Black Lightning to come back. Obviously, we've got Diggle coming back, so excluding Diggle, I guess. What do you think, Eric? What's your picks?
One from each show?
Yeah.
So with Black Lightning, I would probably pick... Well, I shouldn't say Painkiller, because he may get a spinoff. So I guess that's probably a given. So outside of Painkiller, I would love to see Anissa Thunder come back. I'd really like to see her, because I really like her energy. For Supergirl... excluding Supergirl, because I feel like that's a given. I would say probably Dreamer, because I feel like she's a character that has a lot more to tell, because we don't have a trans character as a regular character on any other show. And I think it's important that a character who's not only really been explored in terms of what her powers are, to also have that shown on the shows, because I think it does help with people who may not understand that community. So I think it's good to keep her around. And I really like that character. So for me, it's a win-win both ways. So I think Dreamer, obviously Thunder. And then from Arrow, I would like to see Roy come back. I really like Roy. So those would be my three.
Yeah. And there's some great ones that have been popping up on the screen. We got we got Laurel to Arrow, Nia from Supergirl, Anissa from Black Lightning, Laurel from Arrow. For me, I'm going to say from Supergirl, I'm going to exclude Supergirl because, of course, we want Supergirl back. I'm going to say...
That's why I didn't pick Black Lightning either. I think picking the lead characters is kind of like...
I think that's kind of a cheat, you know? So I would love Mon-El. That would probably be my pick, but if I'm going with a realistic pick, I'm going to say Nia as well. Because I feel like, you know, she's just getting started. Like, I feel like, of course, I'm upset Supergirl is going. Of course, I'm upset I'm not going to see these characters. But I feel like, I don't know, she's got a future. I just feel like it. You know, I got this instinct that...
She kind of got shafted last season. I mean, she didn't get much of a story at all. They give her like one episode. It's like, give her more than that. She's more than just Brainy's girlfriend. Like, it's just a weird thing.
She's a superhero, you know, and she's amazing. Like, I really like her. Right. So my pick from Black Lightning... I'm not up to date on Black Lightning, if I'm honest. I'm seasons behind as of right now.
Well, the characters are all the same. They're all basically the characters that are there, the ones that have been there.
So I guess apart from Black Lightning, one of the daughters, isn't one of them leaving?
China Lightning is leaving, yeah.
Okay,
she's the one with the electric powers. Anissa is the one with the super strength and stuff, yeah.
Okay, so Anissa. Let's say Anissa.
I love her. She's my favorite. I use her in my thumbnails. People are like, why do you always put her in your thumbnails? I'm like, she's my favorite character on the show.
Exactly. Okay, so my last pick. So from Arrow, excluding the Green Arrow, obviously I want Oliver back, and excluding Diggle because Diggle is coming back. I'm gonna say Laurel. I would say that's one of the main reasons that I'm bummed that Green Arrow and the Canaries isn't happening, because I love Laurel, and they did her dirty.
I do too, and I thought that was the obvious answer for me, so I wanted to go to my second choice, which was Roy, because I think a lot of people still like Roy as well. So wanted to show him a little bit of love as well. But yeah, Laurel is a good one.
No, I love Roy as well. So yeah, I mean, really good question. And so if you guys send in your final questions, then we'll head off in about a couple minutes time. So yeah, I mean, anything else you had in mind?
So I do have a question. Like, we know next season that we're going to get full seasons. They've said that all the shows will have their proper amount of episodes when they come back in the fall and everything. Yeah. Do you think we're still going to get a weird release format for next year? Or do you think it's going to go back to normal where we have shows with a break? Because if we go back to next season, we're gonna miss, like, Supergirl's going to be gone, and Black Lightning's going to be gone, which means they don't have to space out so many shows. I think we're going to get Legends. We're going to get Flash. We're going to get Superman and Lois. They're all going to be out around the same time.
Yeah.
And and I think Stargirl will probably be delayed, like it always is, till like a spring or summer thing and whatnot. I actually hate it because we should have Naomi next season as well.
Oh yeah.
Which we don't know if that's going to be connected to the Arrowverse or not. But I think we cherish this year for content, because I don't think we're going to get another year like this next year. So
yeah, it's crazy. And I do like answering your question. Like, I do think that they're going to try and go with a normal schedule. So get the Flash season 8 up and running in October, along with Batwoman season 3 and all the other shows that are going to come. Now, my biggest question is this. So we know Stargirl's coming, in the summer, so probably June time, somewhere around there. We know Legends is coming in May. That was confirmed. We don't know about Supergirl. So I'm interested. Is it going to be a summer release date? Which it probably is. However, is the CW going to be strategic? Are they going to wait and hold off from the summer? And do you think there's a possibility they premiere it in the fall, in October?
You mean like with the next season of shows? So take a whole season off of Supergirl?
Yeah. Do you think? Possible. They're getting there.
I mean, they could, if they want to do another pairing with like Supergirl and Batwoman, like on a Sunday night or something. They could do that again. Because right now Batwoman is getting shifted, I think, right? Isn't Legends going to lead off for Batwoman when it comes out? So I don't know. I think Supergirl and Batwoman had a really good night on Sundays when they were paired up.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's possible they could do that. If they do that, though, we're going to miss out on a few months of shows. That's because then Supergirl will be the only thing on there for a while. So I don't know. I have no idea. I'm also curious to see how they promote Supergirl, because Black Lightning's getting no promotion. So I'm wondering if Supergirl is going to be treated the same way in its final season, with like no trailers or anything like that.
I don't know. I just feel like they have a bias towards Supergirl a bit more, because it does them really well, actually, in terms of ads and everything like that. I'm not sure about Black Lightning.
And it'll be their big show that's on during that period in time.
Exactly. So I don't know. I kind of like the idea of them waiting until October, but at the same time, I don't want there to be a gap. And I think if they're kind of smart, I think they will release Supergirl in the summer, and they will play it until, like, I worked it out, like the first Sunday of June is June the 6th, and 20 weeks later, exactly 20 episodes, is mid-October. Like, it's bang on, like it's perfect.
So technically they could release that, and that will be like the main superhero show on for like that whole period of time. Really?
Yeah. So I think that would actually be pretty smart. Like, keep it all running for the whole year. Start with the Flash after that.
Yeah, I can see that.
We got a final super chat question from Cody. Very much, Cody. Cody says they could do what Riverdale is doing, 10 episodes, then a 3-month break. Oh my god. Yeah, Supergirl did that before. They took like a 3-month break or something.
I think that ruined the momentum for me in that season. That was last season, right? Wasn't there like a 3-month break or something?
No,
and it was
that
weird?
was season
the season
3.
before that. Yeah. I just remember one season where it's like they took that break and then it felt like forever before it came back. So, I mean, they could do it. Absolutely. I don't know if they're going to do that because it's their final season. So I don't know. Would you want that? Would you guys want that in the chat? Like, tell us, would you want a 3-month break between the last season?
No, I don't think it's worth it. And I really do think it is more worth it to do, you know, to air it like, sorry, I'm losing my words.
Concurrently, just straight through.
Yeah. Just all the way through and until October. And yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, chat's saying they don't want that.
Yeah, chat's saying they don't want that. I mean, I don't want it. So yeah.
Do you watch Riverdale? I gave up on Riverdale. I haven't watched it in like a season and a half. So
I haven't watched it in a long time. So like, what was it? When was it? Like, I watched season 1, 2, and I really like Riverdale. I did like it, but now I've seen the recent stuff, and I'm like, what the hell is happening over here? Like, you know, they're like in a war zone. It's in the future. They're like teachers, and
it's a time jump, I believe, is what they said. So
yeah.
So here's I guess final question before we go quickly. I guess you can answer this. There's a super chat there. You want to address?
Oh yeah, Max plays 199. Thank you very much. He says bye.
Last question, I guess, for us and maybe the chat if they want to answer. But would you be more upset? Which character would you be more upset if they didn't make an appearance on the final season of Supergirl? Superman or the Flash? Which one would you be more upset about?
So what do you guys think about that in the chat? Let us know, Flash or Superman.
Because for me, I think the Flash would be the one that I'd be the most upset about. Even though I know Superman is her cousin, I feel like the Flash has had more, like, has a better chemistry with Supergirl, I think.
They've got a greater relationship, you know, like a greater connection between
Especially
them.
after the duet episode, it really shows that they work well together. So
yeah, they are the super friends after all. They are the super friends. No, yeah, I completely agree. Like the Flash, totally. Like I love Tyler's Superman. He's great, and he's great when he's with Melissa. He has great chemistry on screen. However, the original is the Flash and Supergirl, and like you said, the musical crossover pretty much showed they are the super friends. You know, like I don't know, like just before we end the stream, like in terms of these pairings, they really, really tried to do Supergirl and Batwoman. I like them, but I don't think they ever had that same kind of spark that the Flash and Supergirl
and
had.
It's even more difficult now because the new Batwoman has never met Superman before. So
yeah, crazy. I don't know. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching the stream.
Wait, before you go though, let me say this. Okay. I think Superman and Black Lightning would have really good chemistry because they're around the same like age group or whatever. Yeah, I think they would work really well together.
That's a good shout. No, yeah, I pretty much agree with that. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just never really got into that. Like, I did like Supergirl and Batwoman in like the first crossover they had, but then I felt like they were trying to force it. Like they kept on saying "World's Finest" when I feel like, you know, "World's Finest" was the title of the Flash and Supergirl episode. Like they're the world's finest. You know?
Batwoman and Green Arrow would have been a great pairing. That would have been really good to see them fighting together because they're both at like the same level of combat and stuff. So yeah.
But yeah, so great questions, and yeah, thank you all for your support throughout this live stream. We've had a lot of people sending in super chats, tons of you staying throughout this live stream. So thank you all for the support, and yeah, excited. DCTV is back. Flash comes back with episode 2 this week. We got Superman and Lois, episode 3. Batwoman, Black Lightning. If you like it like Eric and you're up to date, go watch them. And
it's a lot of content. Like you can find a show almost every night. And like, WandaVision finale this week.
Yeah, and like if you guys haven't seen, like go check out Eric's videos because like even me, I'm behind on Black Lightning and Batwoman, but I still watch Eric's videos because I'm like I want to know what's happening, you know?
Right,
and
right.
So I just go over there. But yeah, so thank you very much, and thanks for joining, Eric. And all right, we'll catch you guys in a bit. Yeah, see you guys later.